Welcome to The Polished Mind, where subtle behaviors reveal powerful truths. Let's dive in.
Baby boomers have always had strong opinions, especially when it comes to how younger generations are brought up. Their fascination with Gen Z's upbringing often borders on disbelief, both online and in everyday conversations. Meanwhile, Gen Z doesn't hold back either, frequently critiquing boomers for their outdated views, rigid work styles, and resistance to change. Ironically, these two generations, so quick to criticize each other, share more similarities than they'd admit. Both are known for digging in their heels and pushing back against being told they're wrong. To others, it's like watching a mirror argue with itself. Despite the mutual disdain, boomers in particular are baffled by many of the values and habits Gen Z has embraced. Here are 11 things about Gen Z's upbringing that boomers just can't wrap their heads around. Number 1. Participation trophies for everyone. Boomers were raised with the idea that success should be earned, not handed out. Trophies were symbols of victory, not just showing up. So the notion that Gen Z kids received awards merely for participating strikes them as ridiculous. To Gen Z, these trophies are about inclusion and recognizing effort, but many boomers and even educators see it differently. A recent survey revealed that 73% of teachers believe participation awards downplay the importance of actual skill development. Boomers may have a point. Real growth comes from learning to lose, trying again, and eventually improving, not just being celebrated for showing up. Number 2. Childhoods scheduled to the minute. Gen Z's childhoods were often filled with organized activities, playdates, music lessons, clubs, and sports, leaving little time for unstructured fun. Much of this was motivated by competitive college admissions that demanded standout resumes even before high school. Boomers, who grew up with far more freedom and far fewer expectations, view this jam-packed upbringing as overkill. Research from the Economics of Education Review supports this concern, showing that excessive homework and activities contribute to increased anxiety in kids. To boomers, this level of structure steals from childhood what mattered most: the freedom to just be a kid. Number 3. Helicopter parenting. Many boomers remember a time when parents barely knew where their kids were after school. They climbed trees, scraped knees, and navigated the world on their own. So the idea of constantly hovering, GPS tracking, and overprotecting children seems absurd. Helicopter parenting, though well-intentioned, can hinder independence. Boomers see this hands-on approach as denying kids the opportunity to learn resilience through failure. Ironically, the same boomers who left kids to roam now expect modern parents to know their child's exact location 24/7. Number 4. Growing up with technology from day one. Gen Z was born into a world of smartphones, tablets, and smart TVs. To boomers, this constant digital access is baffling and troubling. Many believe that with all these tools, Gen Z should be achieving more. But while boomers see technology as a time waster, Gen Z views it as a coping mechanism in a world that's grown increasingly complex. However, with Gen Z reportedly spending over 4.5 hours a day on smartphones, the concern about distraction isn't entirely misplaced. In the end, technology is a double-edged sword, empowering yet potentially overwhelming. Number 5. Trigger warnings and safe spaces. In the boomer era, mental health was a taboo subject. Struggles were buried, not spoken of. Gen Z has taken the opposite approach, prioritizing emotional well-being, creating safe spaces, and normalizing therapy. Boomers may scoff at trigger warnings, but the stats speak volumes. A YouGov poll found that 18% of Gen Z adults sought mental health treatment in the past year, compared to just 8% of boomers. While it may look like oversensitivity from the outside, Gen Z's approach reflects a culture finally acknowledging that mental health matters. Number 6. Redefining work culture. Boomers grew up in a world where loyalty to the job was paramount, whether you loved it or not. But for Gen Z, not so much. They value flexibility, wellness, and meaningful work. A survey by Top Employers Institute found that 62% of Gen Z would take a pay cut for better work-life balance. Boomers see this as entitlement. Gen Z calls it self-preservation. The clash comes down to mindset. One group was told to endure, the other demands to thrive. Number 7. Dressing for comfort, not impress. Boomers were taught that your appearance reflected your character. Dressing up was expected in public, even for casual outings. Gen Z, however, mixes and matches fashion rules freely, often prioritizing comfort and expression over formality. Seeing Gen Z in hoodies at formal events or beanies in 90 degrees weather might bewilder boomers, but for younger people, clothing is less about fitting in and more about standing out. Interestingly, both generations demand that their personal style be respected. It's just that their definitions of respectable differ wildly. Number 8. Embracing artificial intelligence. AI is revolutionizing the way we work, create, and live, and Gen Z is diving in headfirst. Boomers, however, are skeptical, viewing AI as a threat to human creativity and job stability. And their concerns aren't baseless. A FlexJobs survey found that 34% of workers worry AI could displace them within 5 years. To boomers, this shift isn't progress, it's a warning they gave decades ago, ignored until now. Gen Z's enthusiasm for AI may open doors, but boomers fear it's a shortcut with hidden costs. Number 9. Constantly evolving slang. Language changes and every generation adds its flavor. But boomers can't keep up with Gen Z's ever-shifting slang. Words like cringe, vibe, or no cap feels alien and unnecessary to them. Still, boomers forget they once said things like groovy and bread, which, amusingly, Gen Z has resurrected. A study by WordsRated shows Gen Z uses slang more than any other generation at 92% usage, compared to 65% for boomers. So while boomers find today's slang incomprehensible, they were once the slang trendsetters too. Number 10. Avoiding phone calls like the plague. To boomers, the phone was a lifeline. To Gen Z, it's anxiety-inducing. Many prefer texting or voice notes to real-time conversation. The National Social Anxiety Center reports that 75% of Gen Z experiences anxiety around phone calls, a stat that boomers interpret as antisocial behavior. But maybe it's just adaptation. A generation that grew up texting naturally gravitates toward written communication. Still, boomers miss the days when a simple call solved everything. Number 11. Being coddled by the education system. Boomers often say Gen Z is too pampered in is redefining values that no longer serve modern life. Understanding may not come easy, but maybe it doesn't have to. A little curiosity and less judgment can go a long way.
Please subscribe, like, and share this video if you like it so that others can see it too.